Welcome everyone to the However Comma podcast, where Sam won't stop recording.
No, the problem is that I stopped the recording.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You kept stopping the recording. Hey guys, this is our podcast. We're just three guys that are really good friends, and we really want to start recording our conversations because we think they're pretty interesting. My name's Ryan, and if the other two would like to introduce themselves, I'm also hosting this episode, just so you know.
Yeah, so my name's Sam. You've already met our host, Ryan.
I'm Alex, the guy on the left.
They can't see us though.
I know.
This is indeed audio only. So, just to get this out of the way, we are pro seatbelts. Just putting that out there.
This is a pro seatbelt podcast.
If you don't wear seatbelts, you're just putting yourself in danger, and that's not cool.
This is not the podcast for you if you're anti-seatbelt.
And believe it or not, this podcast is actually anti the weird smell in Sam's room as we're recording.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I took out my trash, and I did my laundry, and it's still there. It's not food.
I
My
really can't
refrigerator's like
pinpoint-
empty.
I really can't pinpoint quite what it is.
It's just surrounding.
It's just,
it's
yeah.
like all present.
And I swear it got worse when you guys came in here, and after I took out my
Well,
trash.
when it's
Awesome.
ever something you don't like, it tends to be worse when you bring people over.
Well, that's true, because I noticed it more, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, I had my roommate in freshman year. I would walk in every day, and there would just be, like... He would walk in, he would take off his shoes, and just this, like miasma would fill the room.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I mean, I can only assume you added to it some way because you're not the most.
No, I'm not exactly the most, like, cleanly person on earth.
I mean, I don't think any of us are.
Nah.
I could do better.
I think we all could do better. Well, anyways, so to tell you what this podcast is about, in all honesty, we really don't know. We're just some guys that really think our conversations can be really interesting if people are listening to it with a certain knowledge base. This is not an anime podcast, but we all are really into anime.
We said the word.
No, we said the funny word.
Ha, got him.
But yeah, we are all, like, pretty into anime. That's probably going to be a pretty prominent topic of conversation.
Yeah, the idea wasn't to make an anime-centric podcast, but it will be a pretty common theme that we have on here because it's just one interest that we all share.
And
But-
it's I think we've all been fans for a while now. I think
For roughly the same amount of time.
Yeah, pretty
about the
much.
same. So what this kind of general structure, we don't want this to be a super organized podcast. We think that kind of takes away from the conversational
Right.
part of it. What we want is really for us to bring in topics or discuss a certain, either a show or even maybe a current event that we find interesting. We can also use this to just explain things that we want to get out there that we don't really have an outlet for otherwise.
Well, a lot of our conversations or discussions are just a lot of learning experience for us as well. We've spent a lot of time looking into things like reading wikis, the Fate wiki in particular, because we just posed a question and we went on tangents for a few hours trying to discuss things, learning things, and I mean, maybe you guys could. Well, I don't know. I don't expect many listeners, but
A few hours, putting it very lightly.
We can. We don't necessarily expect this to be anything massive or blow up in any kind
I
of way.
don't expect any listeners to be.
Yeah, we kind of expect to just be talking to a void, but we also want an outlet to record our conversations because, like we were saying about exploring the Fate wiki on a certain topic, we're really sad we actually didn't record that. And so if we ever have a conversation like that again, we wanted to be able to go back and say, man, wasn't that just so stupid, but also the coolest thing?
Even beyond that, there was, like, we went, like, deep into that shit. Like,
Oh yeah, there was
like,
real effort.
Like, there's things that I
I
just, that I can't, like, remember now from that night that, like, you have to, like, I'd have to look deep into that wiki again to find some of the same information to pull up. And, like, having something like this where we could just go in, look at it, and be like, oh, yeah, that is what we said.
Right.
And pull that up again later.
It's
just convenient to have.
Sorts, right.
So I think that pretty much gets us through the kind of introductory part of this first episode. With that, huh?
Okay, yeah, no, let's go.
Did you have something? you wanted to say?
No, let's jump into a topic.
Okay, so the topic I brought up is I think we've already discussed this before, but this is to record our conversations. So, there have been there's something in the anime community known as the Brotherhood treatment. It's where the original Full Metal Alchemist didn't follow the original manga to the end, and they readapted it later. A more recent example is Fruit Basket, and I just wanted to pose the question: is there an anime that y'all would want to have the Brotherhood treatment? Something that got an anime original ending that you would like to be readapted to complete the source material, or have a different ending at least.
Well, as we're talking right now, the show Promised Neverland has been confirmed to be getting an anime original ending. And, so I think there's a lot of people, including myself, that have kind of wanted the show to just kind of stick where it is. I don't mind the anime original ending. I'm not like reading the manga. It doesn't bother me too much, but the fact that there's now two separate stories for this one medium, or for this two separate mediums of stories with two separate stories, whatever, for this one story, it kind of bothers me.
Okay.
I want it to just all be canon and not like, oh, well, this is just the anime.
I didn't quite make it through season 1,
Okay.
but the manga's finished, right? The manga itself is finished.
Right.
So what's the point of them going off in a completely different route?
I think it's just scheduling.
Really?
This is also
Well,
confirmed
also-
to be the last season.
Oh, interesting. So they didn't get it renewed for another season to actually finish the manga's route, so they're just
Right.
going to finish it like that.
So they're going to try to finish it in one season. So I think
Yeah.
they need an original ending just so they can kind of tie up all the plot or loose holes.
I think you could tell because it's only 11 episodes.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's really bad. Wow, yeah. You know, I've heard a lot of people really didn't like it. Like there was a meme I saw the other day of just like Attack on Titan fans when the anime skips like a single panel versus Promised Neverland fans when the entire ending gets skipped.
When they skip multiple chapters.
Yeah.
Multiple plot points.
Multiple
Like
arcs.
that sucks because that started as a really suspenseful like series that a lot of
really
people
good.
liked.
It's pretty good.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. I mean, I've even been liking the anime because I didn't read the manga. I don't know what I'm missing. There were some things that seemed a little rushed, but it wasn't to the point that it was like that I hated the show. You know, it hasn't hampered my experience. So that, like, I don't hate it at all. I can see why people do.
Yeah. Not a Seven Deadly Sins situation.
Right.
So is that like your answer?
I mean, honestly, I can't really think of too many shows that I like that have anime original endings. Like, I know Akame ga Kill has an anime original ending, but I don't care enough for that show for it to be readapted.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, like, show Tokyo Ghoul, I don't think Tokyo Ghoul has an anime original ending, but doesn't the second season have a...
The second season
is almost wholly original.
The second season is not true to the manga, right?
It kind of ends in a similar place to where that part of the manga ended, but it's also just a different like final twist.
And then like the next season, like the re-season, the third season picks up like exactly where the manga would have left off in that point, and it just threw so many people off, which just stacks on top of the first chapter of Re being like a really like confusing chapter to begin with. Like it's supposed to set itself up as a mystery, but that on top of the fact that it was just completely disjointed from everything that happened just made it like really incomprehensible to a lot of people.
It also had really bad animation.
Yeah.
I guess my answer is The Promised Neverland. I don't care that much about like a lot of these shows with anime original endings.
Okay, well, the one that always pops up to me is I want Soul Eater to be readapted.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I forgot that was anime
Soul Eater,
original.
even despite the like.
No,
anime original
I like
ending.
the Soul Eater anime. I just have read the manga,
Uh-huh.
and I think that would have been really dope if that had been animated.
Mm.
And I would really like it to be animated.
Yeah.
It's honestly not the worst anime original ending, but I just would want the manga ending.
Yeah. I have a few off the top of my head. Tokyo Ghoul would have probably been my number 2. I think that's a really big one that I just would like to see it animated. I think that would be cool, and I think a lot of people would probably really like it. Another one would be like Kingdom, which apparently is very good now.
Is it anime original?
It's not an anime original thing. It's just like if things got the Brotherhood treatment, unless we're talking about things that are specifically anime original.
I mean, I guess if we're just talking
Well,
about...
I mean, I brought up Fruit Basket as an example. That wasn't an anime original. That was just it never finished.
That's true. Yeah, it never finished, so they just readapted
Yeah.
it, right?
So if we're talking about things that I wish just got readapted, yeah, Kingdom is a big one. Just because
Because it's kind of ugly.
because it's kind of ugly, and that of course brings me into the number one pick, which is
Giving Berserk a good anime.
exactly
No, I would probably...
because Berserk is one of the most tragic things to happen in anime history.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in reading it, so...
Yeah, and I really, really like to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Vinland Saga, is
I like
one of my favorite shows of all time.
That was really funny. During when Vinland Saga was being aired, there were a lot of memes that sorry.
I'm telling you to raise your voice a little bit, sorry.
Oh. Okay. So during when Vinland Saga was being aired, there was a lot of memes. It's like Berserk fans crying at the new Vinland Saga anime.
Yeah.
It was just kind of it's like you said. It's just completely tragic what happened to it. So I think that wraps up my point, or the discussion I wanted to have for this first episode.
Sure.
Does anyone? I think you have another topic.
We can do mine next. Since this is kind of a introductory podcast, where we're more making it for ourselves than other people, but if anybody did listen, it would be interesting to know a little bit about us, maybe. So I was just kind of thinking, as much as this is about us, I don't know if we've talked about too much the first anime that we watched, or what really kind of got us into anime. I don't know if that's ever been a huge discussion between us. I know you guys probably know the first anime I watched because I mention it a lot, but
I think I know the second one you've watched.
I usually talk about the second and third one that I watched a lot more,
but you have talked a little bit about your first.
But that's not the topic of conversation right now.
Oh, I think we should do the first few, Sam.
Well, no,
No.
I mean, it's kind of hard.
You don't want to do the first few?
It's kind of hard to remember what the first anime I ever watched was. It could be Pokemon. It could be Yu-Gi-Oh. It could be.
Let's do besides the 4Kids stuff.
Because I'm in the same boat as
So
you.
the first anime that we watched, knowing it was an anime.
Yeah. Knowing it was an anime, knowing this was it wasn't just something that you turn the TV on to watch. It was something that you probably actively sought out or stumbled upon, and it kind of opened a new world to you.
I will say Dragon Ball is kind of an exception to that, because that is something that people knew was very different than Pokemon.
That's fair.
But it is something people turned on TV, and that was a lot of people's first experience with anime.
Well, it wasn't mine.
I don't think it was any of ours.
Oh, okay.
unless it was yours.
That wasn't mine. It would have been if my very first would have been Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm in the same boat. Mine would have been Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've said this many times. My first anime that I ever watched was The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Mm-hmm. So what was kind of interesting about I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before. Was kind of interesting about my road to becoming an anime fan is before the things that actually got me into anime. I was in middle school. I would say a decent artist. I was my art teacher in middle school brought me and a few other kids or took us after class and recommended we take art classes and really pursue this as a hobby or something that we can do for the rest of our lives. And I wasn't that interested in it because I didn't want to do art. I like creating things. I just don't like sitting down and drawing all that much. So I told her no, but I also asked her, does this place that she was recommending us have any anime classes? Now, mind you, I wasn't into anime. I just liked the art style. And she had no idea what I was talking about. And I'll never forget that because everybody has one of those.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. And so for a long time, I don't know if you guys, if you ever were into art or anything, there's a YouTuber called Mark Curley, I believe. And he does a lot of tutorials on how to draw anime, or he's a Western guy. But he did a lot of tutorials, and I would follow them, and I would try to create my own drawings kind of based on what I learned from him and do that kind of stuff. And I think from watching enough of his videos, I was finally recommended The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya on YouTube because somebody had uploaded the entire series. And being something that a mutual friend of ours, Jack, watched and I used to kind of make fun of him for, I decided I was going to finally give anime a chance. because I knew it wasn't really fair for me to make fun of my friend for something that I didn't really know much about, and I also secretly liked the art style a lot anyways. And so I watched it. I really, really liked it for I have no idea why. Being a love letter to anime fans that, it is. I don't understand why somebody who had no interest in the topic at all liked it as much as I did. But
I think it's maybe just the flood to kind of break through the barriers. To kind of just say, this is something I think I'd be into for a good while.
And then that just, that kind of opened me up to it, and I just found more shows after that. That's my story.
So for me, it's kind of weird because I was watching Code Lyoko at the same time as I was watching Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But I don't know, it's the kind of discussion. Code Lyoko is a French production.
Yeah.
It's not technically anime. I don't know if we really care about that kind of borders. That's why I say I don't know. For me, the first time I realized I watched something that probably wasn't an American cartoon is I saw the first episode of Bleach on Toonami. And I was like a 10-year-old kid at midnight watching the first episode of Bleach, and that actually kind of scared me.
I mean, there are a lot of monsters in but the whole...
And it was also really darkly shaded.
Yeah.
So it was kind of creepy. Probably the first full series I watched to completion, knowing it was an anime, was Death Note on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. No.
And that would be my final answer. I think maybe it would be... it's gonna be... it's really cringy. I think I watched, 2 episodes of Tokyo Mew Mew on YouTube.
Oh, awesome.
But it's the anime fans equivalent of episode 1, part 1 of 7 on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Things. And that was interesting. I don't know why I watched it. I think it's because they fought monsters, but it was also really poorly animated.
Well, it was a kid's show.
And it was also a magical girl show.
Right. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
But yeah, Alex, you're on the hot seat now.
I guess my first experience would be when I was a good bit younger. One of my friends who was actually younger than me at the time, he must have been 9 or something at the time, was like, yo, you have to check out this really cool show. I was like, okay. I was 10 or whatever. I'm like, sure, lay it on me. And he pulled up an episode of Bleach.
I actually didn't know this.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is pretty weird. And I watched the episode, I was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. And then we did something else for the rest of the day.
Sure.
And a little bit of backstory on me for that was I had a friend in early elementary school who was super, super, super into Naruto. And that kind of put me off for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's the same
the way
thing
he'd run down the
Jack
halls,
and me.
go, Naruto.
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if that's really my thing.
Yeah.
And so I sat on it for a while. I didn't really watch anymore. And then suddenly it was I had a nightmare one night about a hollow or something. This was a year or two later. I must have been 12, maybe 13 at the latest. Probably 12. I want to say 12. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. But honestly, I'm kind of interested. And so I found a way to watch Bleach. It was probably on YouTube.
Right.
And I tore through it. Tore through it. I enjoyed it a ton. But I didn't really have any way I could talk to people about it at the time because we were all friends with that guy who was super into Naruto and it was I don't know, I don't really have an outlet to talk to people about
Of course,
this.
yeah.
So I didn't really talk with people about it much.
The eternal
not many
struggle.
people knew I was an anime fan for a very, very
Mid-2000s
long
kids.
time. And to be fair, I really didn't watch anything but Bleach for a very long time. I think maybe I watched Code Geass at some point. But then someone, the first person I finally talked to about it was like, oh, that's so cool, I am too. And she showed me, she was like, you have to watch the show I'm super into now. And that show was Hitalia.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no.
And I'm very sorry if you are listening to this. I'm not
you're-
going to dox you.
You're like the
Um,
10 Hitalia stands.
You know who
out
you
there.
are. And if you are one of the Hitalia fans out there, I am not trying to offend you with this, but it just was not for me.
Yeah,
it was just not for me.
Our millions of listeners are now logging
Yeah.
out. They're no longer listening to our podcast.
But after that, I started like being like, yo, maybe this is a little bit more okay, and so I started like branching out to other stuff. So that's like, I guess, my story on that.
Yeah. I have to say also the show, probably the next show I watched after Death Note was I actually found a way to watch Yu Yu Hakusho, and that is still probably in my top 5, like of all time. I've rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it's a great show. It's pretty hard to fill that void with other shows that left. I was gonna touch on what you said about Italia. So part of the reason why I didn't like anime for so long is because before I ever watched the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Jack used to show me, I'm doxing him, Jack used to show me clips of Italia on his computer, like the funny clips from Italia, like Germany being, or like Italy was the dumb one, Italy being stupid, and he made me watch like almost all of the first episode, which if you don't know what Italia is, it's like 5 minutes long, so I couldn't even sit through like 3 minutes of it.
I think the number of times I've watched that first episode of Italia is pretty scary, I think.
I wasn't the biggest fan, and that really put me off for a long time. That you had Naruto, I had Italia, that really, really put me off. But yeah, we got anything else?
Let's see.
You haven't done a topic yet.
That's true, Alex.
Yeah, I guess I haven't.
What, do you want to go tier list, something niche?
Something niche. It wasn't going to be something super niche, but I have been kind of interested recently. With Mushoku Tensei currently airing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You haven't seen
We're
it.
delving. Oh yeah, you haven't watched it. Anyway, that's not going to matter. I
It's
was
your own fault.
starting to think of. There's a pretty I guess it's a pretty small list of isekai that are actually like pretty good. And
of
a
course.
pretty long list of ones that are pretty bad.
I mean, honestly, like, people like to shit on the genre, if you want to call it that, like, a lot. In my mind, it really is almost kind of like a bell curve. You get a lot of shit, and then you get a lot of really mediocre shows that people kind of tend to lump in with the shit. Which I'm like, because the garbage stuff is clearly like In Another World with My Smartphone, stuff like that.
Kenshin no Maga.
Kenshin no Maga is better than In Another World with My Smartphone, but
Smartphone is really
a
just
lot.
like the one people go to. Like that is the best
Oh,
isekai.
Isekai Cheat Magician.
Isekai Cheat Magician is down there with
pretty horrid.
Smartphone. It's pretty horrid, but then,
Death March to a Parallel World Rhapsody is pretty bad.
like,
Did any of us ever watch like Isekai Maid or not Isekai Cafe or
no,
restaurant?
I know I have never seen it, but
It doesn't really look that like bad. I've never watched
I mean
it.
the
It's just,
animation doesn't look terrible at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and the unfortunate thing is, people tend to like group just regular fantasy shows with Isekai now.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, because so many of them borrow from the same like game tropes that Isekai uses.
They all have
Like,
JRPG.
For
elements.
example, like people so often like group is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon
With isekai, yeah.
because it uses that same sort of like labyrinth game mechanic sort of
well,
thing.
it's
And
the
you have
exact
just,
same show as all of them, except for he
He
was
doesn't-
born in that world.
He doesn't come from that world.
Yeah. Oh wait, what?
He doesn't, or he didn't come from another world.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Like, wait, what?
But he was born in the world where the story takes place, right? But no, so I interrupted you while you were talking about your topic.
Okay.
But just,
that is the point.
right. It's,
Anyway,
We
I
gotta
guess
remember to
this
get
is
that.
I guess this is kind of a two-parter. I guess I'm kind of cheating.
how dare you?
Yeah, right. So I guess my two-parter would be, what do we think as the group of the three of us? What do we think are the 5 best and worst isekai? And as a side note on it, where do we draw the line between something being isekai and being like something else?
Well, I mean, I think if we just simple, if we're drawing the line is if the main character came from another
Yeah.
Like, I agree that I would like to lump, like, is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon with the same genre of show? Just because it is the exact same formula, like, in terms of world building and power system and everything, but it doesn't have the one annoying trope that all these other shows have.
But then it's like, it brings up the question of, do you include, if you're making a list of the 5 best isekai, do you include something like freaking Inuyasha, which very clearly has a different tone than every other isekai out there, but you'd probably include it on there because
Yes,
it comes
because
from another world.
Kagome is from modern day Japan.
Yeah.
Technically, they do not travel back in the manga. That is anime original.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a thing they do a lot?
No, it happens in like 5 episodes.
Oh, wild.
Oh. Huh. I think what we should really do is just kind of stick to the modern isekai idea. Because, like, I mean, if you want to include things like Dot Hack, Inuyasha, I mean, there's...
I don't even know if Dot Hack would go on it. I
Even if you want to be pretty
It's kinda
specific,
boring.
something like Urusei Yatsura is kind of an isekai. Like, I mean, it's aliens. It's aliens coming to Earth. They came from another world.
That's one thing I want to say.
Oh, yeah. Because, what do you do with aliens?
Right,
They came
it's-
from another world.
And like, what about like demons and stuff?
Yeah.
Right. Is that? I mean, maybe it's our
Like
failing
I
of
want, like
of
me and you
language,
have both seen this. I don't know if you've seen Shakugan no Shana,
I have
but
not.
he basically just gets. It's other things like that. It's like Bleach, Shakugan no Shana, Dance in a Vampire Bund, where the main character
Zero
does
no
not
Tsukaima, like
does not get no. Well, that's actually just
That's-
his-
that one.
That's
That
just
one kind of
an
is.
I'm
isekai,
talking about.
like,
it
I'm
just-
talking
it's just
about,
not really one I think about.
I'm
very
talking
often.
about those shows in relation to. They're not pulled into another world, but there is a whole other like sub layer to their world that they
Yeah.
find out about.
There's definitely
Right.
a difference there.
Well, and then
And things like that are kind of why I wanted to bring that up. It's like, because there are so many, like, the transported to another world, or like the person is able to go to another world, there's so many like weird things that you don't really think about at first, that there's like, they just kind of happen.
Right.
That they just kind of exist. Like, Bleach. They can go to, like
Like a Mundo Soul
Mundo
Society,
exists, yeah.
they can. Hell is canonical, even though they never go to it canonically.
Yeah.
but we're more so talking about shows where, like, character dies, characters transported, whatever, to an
Maybe not
entirely
necessarily
separate.
die,
not
but,
even
like,
dies.
Well, no,
There's
but-
ReZero.
Well, yeah, that's why, or teleported, or transport. You know, however, so into another world that does not exist within their world, does not exist within their universe, is very much just
Also, just
like,
another point.
very foreign and outside. I mean,
Yeah.
Just another point. Do we consider any show that has Truck-kun in it to be an isekai?
Zombieland Saga is an isekai.
no,
Tony Kawa is an isekai.
no. He's a major
Well-
player in a lot of isekais, but
I mean, she is basically an alien. Like,
She's an alien. The show just will never tell us that she is.
they'll just hint at it till the show ends.
Okay,
yeah.
so do we each want to do our own, or do we want to
I
collectively
think we
make
collectively come up with one. That
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Well, we're just coming up with the top 5 and bottom 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we already said it, but something that can pretty handily land on the bottom is
smartphone.
Smartphone and isekai cheap magician.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no,
those
both-
are
yeah,
both
both.
pretty awful.
Kenja no Mago is.
Do we put Ari Feretta?
Ari Feretta is pretty horrid.
Well, have any of us seen it?
I've read it.
Okay.
I've read a good bit of it, and I've watched the first like few episodes.
I
It's
don't.
pretty bad. Like, it is a bad adaptation of an
Shield Hero?
already not great thing.
I
yes.
hate
All right,
Shield
that's
Hero.
gonna be our first
Yeah,
like really hot take.
this is-
we all hate Shield Hero.
Shield Hero sucks.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you hate it as much as the rest of us, as much
It's-
as like Sam and I do.
I really think it's just kind of mid.
I mean, ultimately, okay. Like,
That's why
ultimately,
I'm
if we're
saying
talking about
that's
quality,
why I brought it up, because I don't know if it's technically bottom 5. I think it's more like it's not top 5.
Oh, I don't know. That
it
one's
is
like that
certainly
one like
not top 5.
that one I would almost put in bottom 5 just on how like angry it makes me.
Yeah, a lot of these shows like Kenja no Mago, Isekai Cheat Magician, they didn't offend me; they just bored me.
Yeah.
But
I have like
Well,
a reaction.
I am of the opinion that being boring is worse than being bad.
no, but
Okay,
I'm
like,
of the
this
opinion.
isn't like the good kind of bad. This is the like, man. A lot of people are
Well,
like,
I think it goes like a good show,
Like, it's
a
not
bad but funny show, a boring show, and then a bad offensive show.
yeah,
And I don't just mean offensive, like the what is it, episode 1 that it happens.
yeah.
I'm not
the,
just
like
like the
teacher
episode
controversy
one
or
controversy.
whatever.
You just mean because he's an asshole and he
Yeah,
gets
the
and
dude
he
is a
gets rewarded
self-righteous
for being
dick.
an asshole.
He gets rewarded for being a dick the entire show.
He's like, there comes a point where like he's been rewarded, like all the people who've done him wrong have been punished, and he's still just a dick.
Yeah, no, and they, like, no, he gets retribution. Everybody's like kind of on his side now. They reach out their hands, and like everyone's like, "Well, he'd been done wrong for so long; it would take a long time for him to accept him." Yeah, but this is an anime. This is a show where a bunch of people are supposed to fight monsters, make friends. like I get it. I get it's not the point of the show, but like it just.
And it's also like the way that like the three heroes who aren't him are just like so comedically like
Incompetent.
yeah,
Well,
like
and
the spirit, like the spear hero, obviously. Like there's a whole episode where like they beat him in a race or something, and it's like, haha, look how funny it is to see this guy get epically owned.
I mean, it is pretty.
Like there's a
funny
point.
to see
It
him
is.
get
It is pretty. Like it is pretty funny to see him get epically owned. But like,
Only because
there comes a point where it's like, I don't know, that just doesn't work anymore. And my personal story with Shield Hero is it's one of the first isekai that I like really went in and like read because I thought it would be really cool. And to be honest, when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun. I was kind of in for the whole like revenge thing, and then it got animated, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be super sick. I'm so excited to watch this. And I watched the first few episodes, and I'm like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
This is making me kind of angry. And it's not because it's like a bad adaptation. I can't really think of anything that it does like super differently than the light
I
novel.
think doesn't the ending like really exclude a lot about the queen?
I don't know. I don't really remember too well. I like. It's just like the vibe I got was just like the biggest takeaway I got from that show after watching it was like, man, I completely misjudged this main character.
Right.
He is just kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's not my favorite.
Well, I think that's fine. I don't think it's as bad as Isekai Cheat Magician or,
No,
or
it's-
stuff.
I don't think it's worse. Just, like overall quality, it's prettier. Like it has a better score. I mean, Kevin Penkin does the score.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean,
it's-
like it has a really like it has really solid production value.
I will say I think it's one of my least favorite Kevin Penkin soundtracks.
Well, yeah, out of the what 3?
Out of, like the 3 or 4,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're all
What is
like
it?
pretty high
What is
quality.
it? Is it Made Abyss?
Made
Shield
Abyss,
and
Tower
Hero?
of God, and
Tower
Shield
of
Tower
Hero.
of God, yeah.
And the Tower of God one is pretty good.
Tower of
Tower of God one's good.
Tower of God's epic except for the openings visuals.
Yes.
Openings visuals.
And
I
obviously,
don't know
Made
what
in
the
Abyss is
hell
a
that is.
fucking like
Made in Abyss is
it's a masterpiece of OST.
incredible,
Like,
yeah. There's- yeah, but
Anyway,
What really just makes me mad is that if you go on to the later section of Mao, the first two things that pop up are Shield Hero Season 2 and Shield Hero Season 3.
yeah, it got confirmed for a 3rd season before the 2nd season even aired, which
yeah, it's popular.
has made me very upset.
It's got an 8 flat on Mao.
I can't
Yeah,
believe
well,
that.
yeah.
I think I gave it like a 5, which is a bad score for me. Like I mean that's a low score on my
Yeah.
yeah.
So right now, the 3 that we have are what is it? Isekai Cheat Magician, Smartphone, and Shield Hero
Hero,
for
yeah.
now. Because and it's not tentative that Shield Hero would stay on it just because it does have things that are good about it. Like its
Right.
production values are pretty high.
Yeah, it's clear that the people who worked on it cared about
Yeah.
it, which is something that Smartphone. I don't get that vibe
Yeah.
from Smartphone
Oh,
or Isekai
I don't-
Cheat
Were we
Magician.
also putting Ari Ferretto on it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I-
Ari Ferretto's just a bad adaptation of an already like not great novel.
Yeah.
I'm going on Mal really quick just in case we forget any. But
Yeah.
I just got reminded.
Also, I don't really think we need to describe. I don't think we really need to put an explanation out there for why In Another World with My Smartphone is on there. But just to it's just bad.
it's
It's
well,
just really bad.
The guy reincarnates with, well, obviously a smartphone, but he also just reincarnates with godlike magical power, affinity for pretty much any tasks, and like also really good sword fighting skills.
Every single type of magic that is in this world, he instantly masters.
Yeah.
I mean, he
has an assload of mana,
He
just
has-
automatically.
and not only that, he's also capable of creating his own original magic throughout the
Yeah.
entire series.
It's like
I mean, I've only seen the first like 2 or 3 episodes.
I think the most
I
tragic
dropped it.
part about it would be like is just like if the show was just he gets transported to another world, but he has infinite access to Google and like nothing.
That would
else,
have been an
that would've
interesting
been
concept.
awesome.
That's why I watched it.
What about
Yeah.
the isekai where it's like the 7 like geniuses get
No,
transported. to another world.
I'm not putting that one in the bottom 5.
I-
I enjoyed that show a good bit.
I just think
Actually,
it's
I'm
really
familiar. I just
bad.
don't know much.
it's
about
just
it.
it wasn't.
So
I just thought it was kind of fun.
so
Like,
the big thing is, do we put Sword Art Online there?
no.
Okay.
it's
Yes.
not. It is not the worst isekai out there.
Do
Like,
we put the fairy dance arc there?
No.
Because I would put it on there because it's really bad, but like it's not like it's tied with the rest of the show. You can't like put one arc of a show on there.
Yeah.
I know. I wasn't actually.
But
suggesting
no, but
that.
like Fairy Dance would get an honorable mention as being like a really bad arc.
I could name a dozen bad isekais before, like, that are worse
Sure.
than.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
it's just the elephant in the room when you're talking about isekai. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course. Like we do have to mention. I don't think there's almost no chance that Sword Art Online makes it into the top 5, but it's probably
in the
not in the
bottom
bottom 5.
No, it's pretty mid.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a lot of people like to. Like I said,
Yeah.
people
and
clump,
there's hot take number 2.
yeah, people clump the mid shows with bad shows. I'm sorry, Sword Art Online is mid. Like, it's not bad. It's not good. It's a fun popcorn watch. It's fun to watch dumb people do these fun things. Like, it's
It's a solid 5 or 6,
like
and
Ordinal Scale was an okay movie, and then at the end, spoilers if you haven't seen it, he takes out a sword that he gets from one of the floors of Sword Art Online, I think. Aincrad, thank you. He pulls out a sword from Aincrad and one-shots every single enemy that they're facing. And it's really dumb, but I laughed so hard I could not in earnest give it a bad score, like in terms of enjoyment. It's not good. But I never laughed at Kensho no Manga. I never laughed at like Smartphone
No,
or
yeah.
anything. Those shows are just bad.
the one use I think Smartphone had was the time that I used it right before Rachel and I watched the first episode of it right before watching ReZero just to like do a comparison because
Right.
that was kind of fun, but it was really just showcasing how bad Smartphone is.
Yeah, it's awful.
yeah. So another one.
So we have 4. We have 4 in our bottom 5.
Yes.
Yeah, let's pull up the list.
I'm pulling up Mal because they don't have an isekai genre, but you can sort by fantasy, and every single isekai
Of course, yeah.
has. Just we've been talking about the bad stuff for so long. Log Horizon is one that's easily Log Horizon.
I
And
would put Log Horizon
Konosuba.
in the top 5.
Overlord.
Well,
Overlord.
actually, no. Let's finish the bad stuff first.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's go ahead and finish the bad stuff.
So let's see. I got through this by clicking on Kuma 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 Bear. That show
Gate.
Gate.
is
Gate is an isekai.
okay. Is it the typical isekai that we're talking about, like this?
I mean, it's pretty close.
I
Like,
kinda like
sure,
Gate,
the
but-
entire Japanese military gets transported into another
Oh
world,
wait,
but like it's mostly this
is
dude.
Rosario plus vampire and isekai?
No,
No.
that one definitely falls in our whole.
But it
Bleach
definitely
thing.
says the demon.
No,
world.
that one's like another facet of the world that
Right.
people don't. It's a Bleach situation.
Okay.
I'm seeing Grimgar on here. Grimgar again is one of those very mid isekais.
Yeah.
Amagi Brilliant Park is technically an isekai.
No.
Well, it's a princess from another world who transports them to their world.
I thought the park is like part of the world. It's just something that not everyone can enter.
Maybe
the whole
it
thing
is a
they're trying to
facet
drum
like
up popularity from like people in normal
God,
society.
I really
Right.
wish Asterix War was an isekai.
Yeah, so we could talk about that
so
one.
we could put this at the bottom, but it's not.
that. There's also Problem Children.
I
that's
actually
very
enjoy Problem
mid.
Children.
Problem. It's
I just
very
thought
mid.
I don't think it's a good
how
show,
not
but
to
I thought
summon
it
a
was
demon
fun.
lord.
Yo.
How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. I don't think it's quite going to make it on our bottom 5, but it is not good.
I don't know. It was pretty bad. I think Gate might be worse though.
I like Gate.
I enjoy parts of Gate, but there are parts of Gate that I'm just like, wow, this is just really dumb.
Also, Drifters doesn't follow the standard formula that we're talking about, but Drifters...
It's an isekai in the
It is-
same way that like fucking Fate is an isekai, or that
Well, even more so. That when they die, they're transported to another world.
yeah, or like
Or when they're like...
Recreators,
close
I
Yeah,
to
guess.
it's
death.
more like
Well, Recreators is more of an isekai. I mean, it's a reverse isekai, I guess.
Yeah. I guess none of us have seen Phantom World. No, I don't
I've-
think that's an isekai.
I've seen
actually.
Phantom World, and it's not a...
Yeah, that's not an isekai.
It's not an isekai. It's not a good show. Oh, there's also Kasha's Hero. Kasha's Hero is very mid.
I mean, I don't think
Oh,
that's... No,
that's-
I enjoyed the
it's not
first
an
episode way
isekai,
too much
fuck.
compared to everything else.
So Ryan just saw not the Irregular, the
Misfit.
Misfit at Demon Academy.
that show would be at the bottom if it was an isekai.
All right.
Unfortunately,
There is Death March.
Death March to a Parallel Rhapsody.
Is that an isekai?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar with it.
He's like a game designer or something. I like watched the first episode. Like,
Nah. I do. I remember when it came out.
Wait. I just have to tell you something. Digimon is going in our top 5 isekai.
what?
Digimon is one of the best isekai.
Okay, wait a minute.
Is that
Hold on.
that's just another facet of the world kind of deal?
No,
Yeah.
it is another world.
Well, it's,
It's
a
a
digital
digital
world
world.
inside of like.
It is
Yeah.
not. It is a completely separate ecosystem.
Man, you really just want Digimon on the top.
Because
We could
it's-
talk about Digimon at another like. There, we could have a whole different thing for Digimon.
It is the best isekai.
I'm very sorry, Ryan.
And I don't care what you say.
Let's see. I saw Kenjin Omaga. We got Sword Art Online.
And we're starting to scroll down now.
I know. Yeah, we're
All right.
starting.
Outbreak Company.
Yep. Oh, we got a. Well, I was gonna say Bufuri is kind of an isekai. They're really just playing a video game, so that doesn't. I don't think that really
Is it
counts.
just an MMO, like a VP? Wait, what?
MMORPG. There you go.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
That Devil May Cry.
Let's see.
Man,
Man, we're really getting outside of the isekai. Okay, we got Otome Game. Otome Game is not top
Didn't people
5.
like that one?
No, that's an
Oh yeah.
isekai.
Oh
I liked
yeah.
I liked
Oh,
Otome
okay.
Game a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, Villainess is pretty good.
Unfortunately, Assassin's Pride is not an. I mean, I'm scrolling through all these like bad fantasy shows, and I just kind of want to put all of them in our bottom 5, but
Because they're all bad.
yeah. I mean, you've got.
Dude,
Oh,
if
wait a
only-
minute.
if
Wait, no,
only-
no.
if,
I almost.
If only Redo of Hero.
Yeah, I was about to
isekai.
say.
That's, I was thinking
It's
the same.
yeah.
thing.
He was born there. As
Yeah,
weird as that
unfortunately.
is.
He just goes. That's more similar to Drifters
That's fair.
because they go back in time.
Mommy Isekai.
Mommy-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck. That's definitely bottom 5.
That's
No.
that is our number 5.
Mom Isekai, in my opinion, might actually be the worst that I've
The
seen.
worst.
I-
Man,
worst?
we're about to piss Yuki off. He is no longer designing a logo for us.
No. No, I mean, I don't know if he only watched. He told me he only watched the first episode. Yeah, he likes MILFs. He told me that he only watched the first episode to see the MILF, and he was done watching it because he knows how awful it is.
Yeah, I don't know how much worse we're gonna find. Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah.
just to let you know, Isekai Quartet is a cheap answer and it is not allowed.
Well,
Isekai
that wouldn't
Quartet
go.
is
That wouldn't
not-
go in the top 5 or bottom 5.
Exactly.
Ise-
But I'm just saying.
It doesn't belong in either position. I actually kind of like Isekai Quartet, but it's
tempted
not
to say
great.
the Romeo and Juliet thing just because it's a bad adaptation, but I'm just not gonna. It's not as bad as everything else.
Okay. Also, there's Rise Up Animal Road. This show
Oh,
made
now
by
we're
the
gonna make.
Oh, is that the wrestler one?
This is the wrestler one. Same guy who did Konosuba. Rise Up Animal Road is not a good show.
Don't listen.
If-
Cindy can't listen to this now.
No, Cindy knows it's not a good show. If this,
But Cindy knows shows are bad, but then still tells you how dare you say something bad about them because I love them.
yeah, no, it's not a good show. It's not bottom 5, but it's down the list for sure.
You have to be pretty bad to be the bottom 5 at this point.
You do. Oh, here's the other smartphone anime.
Oh, that's Ragnarok. That's no. It's like Enslaver of Inheriar. Or like,
You know, I did hear about that one. That one I've heard is really bad.
So I don't
Like,
know how
I
really,
haven't
really bad.
watched it though.
it is the Master of Ragnarok. It
Enslaver
is-
of Inheriar.
I've never seen it, so I'm not going to be able to give it a fair score.
Me neither.
But it is known as the other smartphone isekai.
Yeah.
Which, the fact that there's 2, it's just,
I love the fact that there's 2 and neither of them do what you want them to.
yeah, not at all. Well, I don't
He
know.
just enslaves people.
Yeah.
Like it's just bad.
Let's
Oh,
see.
Spider Isekai, but like none of us have seen it.
And none of us have seen
Didn't
it.
people
And
kind of like it?
I
And
think
I've heard it's
I think
cute.
people like it. It's really funny
Well-
because people like it, and like, but it's like mostly CG. But it's also the same company that did Berserk 2016.
oh, fun. Also,
Yeah,
yeah, people
yeah,
like
like,
it,
what
but it
is
has
it?
a 6.9 on Mal, so I don't think people
Yeah.
actually like it.
Millipedes.
That is fair.
I think people were saying don't like immediately hate it because of the CGI, but then I think people immediately hated it because of the CGI.
Yeah.
Reed Island.
All right, so I've been on the 4th page, and I'm not seeing too many more isekai.
Oh, here and there,
Uh,
now and then.
Yeah, and then we've got the, like, if I die, please make sure I'm not overpowered. I don't remember the English title for that, but it's something like that. People didn't like that. That's
Oh wait, it's
too
like
much.
I was overpowered in my last life. Now I just want to be ordinary.
Something like that. Yeah. So, okay, so we've got...
What were you
I
doing
think
when
we
the
have a
world
pretty
ended?
solid list at the moment.
Yeah, we got to...
We could probably
Wait,
dig
Sam-
farther and find shows
Sam-
we haven't seen that are really, really bad. But
What were
like,
you doing when the world ended? Were you busy? Can
will you save us?
No.
Oh man, light novel titles would be an interesting topic to get
For
into.
another day. But no, just the bottom 5. I mean, what do we have? We have Smartphone, Isekai Cheat Magician, MILF Isekai. I think it's pretty fair to throw Kenshin no Mago on there, and what, Arifureta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, but we also have Shield Hero, which I think...
Shield Hero makes me mad, but like it has better production values than the rest of those.
I want to put it on the bottom 5 because of how much I hate it. But
it's probably not fair to put it on the same level as Smartphone.
it's not, because like I said, people who worked on it did at least seem to care about it.
Yeah.
They at least seem to care about putting out a good product. And I guess I'm glad people like it.
I cannot wait for us to just like slander popular shows that people like.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of popular shows that we like.
No, I mean we're about to get into the popular shows that people like.
of course.
Hey guys, you heard about this little known episode called or anime called ReZero? It's really good. You
We're
should
about
watch
to
it.
jack the shit out of ReZero.
You guys are. I think it's good. You guys like it a lot more than me, but
That's fine.
But yeah, no, I mean, what? So bottom 5.
Sorry.
I want to get an order.
I will correct that. Ryan and I are about to jack the shit off of
That's right.
ReZero.
It's gonna be real messy. It's gonna be like an episode of Redo of Healer.
Okay. Let's not compare us to that.
I mean, it's got a 6.3 on Val.
It's
And
kind
I
of.
don't know how it's that high.
It's just porn. It's just.
No, it's actually just. It looks like a hentai. It's hentai character design.
I saw some clips from it. I just
Like there's an uncensored version, and it's just
No, there's
porn.
actually 3.
there's
What?
There's a censored version. The censored version is almost funnier than the uncensored.
Does it have like the god rays and stuff?
No,
Oh.
it actually doesn't. What it does not censor. It just does not show. There are panning shots of either forest or fireplaces over the scenes, and it's actually just kind of great.
That's
Like small animals.
that's almost worth watching. For
I
that.
haven't seen the semi censored version. I think that would probably
So
be
that's
what
yeah,
you
the
were talking
semi-censored
with the
from
god
rays
rays and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there is a late night version called the redo version, which is completely uncensored.
And it's just porn. I don't like.
Yeah.
Like I know people for the longest time like have been defending anime. Be like, people think it's such a perverted thing, which it's not fair to say that there isn't a lot of perverted stuff in the medium, but it
To
is.
be sure.
It's just shows like this are going to make that argument harder and harder to make, and then going on in the future. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Tangent aside. Rankings. I mean, again, we got Smartphone, Arifureta,
Cheat Magician.
Cheat Magician. What were the other ones? MILF and I already said Arifureta. Whatever. Okay, so fuck it. Shield or Smartphone is bottom. Smartphone is the worst.
That's the worst. That is the worst isekai ever made.
It's yes, it's awful.
Enslaver of Enheriar. Well, we haven't seen that.
Yeah,
we
we
haven't
haven't seen it, unfortunately.
Um,
it would be on there probably.
I think Kenjin no Mago was the other one that I had.
Yeah.
Kenjin no Mago is going to be at the top of the list.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kenjin no Mago is bad, but it's not as offensive as these other ones.
Yeah.
So I think it goes Smartphone, MILF Sakai,
Arifureta maybe
Arifureta-
just because it's not only
Cheat
bad but a
Magician-
bad adaptation.
Cheat
Cheat
Magician.
Magician's third, and then
yeah.
like Arifureta is like right below Kenshin no Mago.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that.
so now
Alright.
on to some.
So
Now on to
we
shows that are good.
All right, can we talk about ReZero last?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because
Right,
I know you guys are probably going to argue for it being.
me
one or
and
two
Alex, are gonna like really hype up ReZero, and then I think you two are both gonna hype up Log Horizon.
Yeah. Log Horizon's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
And I think we all kind of like slime.
I don't know if I put it in the top 5. I like
let-
slime.
Let's review our options.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So what do we have? We have like Konosuba. There's Yojo Senji's Tanya. Tanya the Evil Sid.
Yeah, there's the
Overlord.
Isekai Quartet shows.
Yeah, the Isekai Quartet shows.
Overlord.
Yeah, Overlord.
Overlord, and what's the other one? It's ReZero is the other one.
and Shield Hero.
It's called Quartet. Never mind. Okay. Also, Cautious Hero.
Isn't it really
second
funny?
season,
Isn't it
spoiler
really
alert,
funny
but
they called it Isekai Quartet 2 when there was 5, so you just probably call
There's
it Anime
actually
Quartet?
technically 6, but
But don't they? But they don't stay. It's just like a one episode.
it's
Yeah.
it's a little throwaway gag. But,
Which pretty funny. Like,
and that was a funny throwaway gag. I liked it.
okay, so let's see. We have just off the top of our heads is Konosuba, ReZero.
Overlord and Tanya the Evil.
Yeah,
For, like,
those are,
you
those
got
are
the-
good ones.
Log Horizon.
You got Log
Yeah.
Horizon, Slime. We can throw. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm gonna go back to the more popular
I
fans.
don't
So
think- I don't
do
thi-
we talk about Inuyasha here?
No, I know. I thought we ruled that
It
out.
is
Okay.
one.
And what
it is
about
one of
Zero no
my-
Tsukaima?
Well, Zero's,
Zero Tsukaima is actually just. I don't.
it's just not going to be in the top
great.
5.
Yeah,
It's not great.
I'm
It's,
sorry.
Inuyasha would be
because
one-
I would not put it in the top 5.
yeah, I mean, no,
Yeah.
I even liked it, and I wouldn't put it in the top 5.
Inuyasha and Digimon would be in my top 5, but since we're doing a collective thing, I don't think they're going to be. But
Yeah.
And what about no? That's just another facet of the world. I was going to mention like Spirited
Gate
Away,
is
but that
like,
doesn't
Gate
really
would
count.
be 6.
That would be. Oh yeah, we had Gate up there. The Gate is.
Oh,
pretty
were we talking about
offensive.
in the worst?
Yeah, in the worst one. But well, we can. Yeah.
Gate is 6. God, there's so many of these fantasy shows I wish
I don't
were
think-
isekai just so I could shit on them.
And another one people bring up a lot that we're probably gonna mention lightly, but it's not gonna be in the top 5. Is No Game No Life. I don't think any of us like it enough to put it in the top 5.
I don't. I don't like No Game No Life enough.
I like it. It's a
pretty.
fun
But-
show. Like
but-
it's just not like
But
something
you-
I would put in the top
But
5.
you see, it has Jabril, which is the second hottest isekai girl. So.
She just right behind Albedo, yes.
Yeah,
But yes, I mean, I don't know, because I'm looking down this list, and what I'm kind of seeing is that the shows that are generally agreed upon to be good, they're good. Like it's,
Yeah.
like this, like looking through here at the top 5 that I'm thinking of. I mean, it's going to be the Isekai Quartet shows.
I don't know.
Slime
I don't know if we're
and-
gonna put Tanya. Have any of us watched Tanya?
I haven't watched Tanya.
I've seen Tanya. I don't think it belongs in the top 5, but it's still a good show. It's just I don't think it's going to be in the top 5. But I do think that Overlord, Konosuba, and ReZero are going to be in the top 5.
There's a good chance. Yeah.
And
I definitely think Konosuba and ReZero.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I think there's a chance Overlord will get edged out. It's a good show, but I think there is a chance it'll get edged out.
out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Well, kind of the reason why I brought that up.
I think it's either going to be Overlord or Slime at number 5.
because I'm looking through the
Maybe.
best,
I like
the
to
most
go to a little
popular
more on
isekais on.
Like what?
I like Overlord a little more than Slime.
I like Slime a little bit more than Overlord.
I think I'm starting to like Slime more than Overlord.
Really?
As in this new season, it's just been a lot. I've had a lot more fun with it than I have had with Overlord
That's fair.
recently.
Overlord's just kind of jank in some places.
Especially
Yeah.
this season.
I mean, I'm like kind of talking about that, but it's also just like its story pacing is kind of weird sometimes. So good, but
I think depending on how the adaptation goes, it also is worth mentioning Mushoku Tensei.
yeah, but it's not done yet.
Yeah.
And I also think
And I would mention it because I've already enjoyed it more than a lot of other isekai.
I think it's also very fair that we're also kind of forgetting.
Yeah, I was going to mention that eventually. Is Devil is a part-timer.
Devil's a part timer. I
But
don't
do we put that in there because we also really didn't consider recreators for any spot?
because I hate. I didn't like Recreate. I don't hate it. I just didn't like it. Recreators is mid.
So do we take reverse isekai?
That's a good
Or-
question.
Yes.
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 It is a separate universe from the main
So
characters
I would maybe put it
universe.
in there because
So
I really like
think-
Devil's
I think
part-timer.
it's-
So I think
I think edges out
I
Yojo
think
Senki.
I think
Yeah. Pretty solidly.
yeah. So I think we put Devil's a part timer in there, and it's probably honestly
probably
probably our
number-
bench. It's probably our benchmark.
Well, yeah. As-
probably-
it's probably number
number
it's probably
five.
number 5. I agree.
Because
I-
right now we have Devil is a part-timer, Overlord / Slime,
I think
and then Log Horizon, ReZero Konosuba. Like those are
we got 6, right? We have
Yeah.
6.
So some of those get edged out. I actually think I would put Devils of Part-Timer above both Slime and Overlord.
I would put it above Overlord, but not Slime.
Interesting.
I kind of agree with Sam.
Interesting.
So Overlord is out
Yeah, Overlord's out.
somehow.
But it's like but it's like 6.
It's pretty solidly in 6th place. And in fact, like I could probably flip on the day if they released a new Overlord season. I might put it above
Slime.
I might not above Slime, above Devil's a Part-Timer. But I think Slime goes above Devil's a Part-Timer.
So right now it's at number 5 it's Devil's a Part-Timer.
Number 4 we have Slime. And then we have Log Horizon, ReZero, and Konosuba
Suba.
rank.
Yeah.
I know.
So wait, let's go through a little bit more because I feel like there's something we're forgetting.
I mean, I'm on the Mal page just trying to look for the most popular fantasies of all time. There's really not. I mean, we're forgetting Sword Art Online, No Game No Life, but we're not. We're not ranking them.
They're not going on like.
There's let's see. I mean, Konosuba, we got that. That's Devil's a Part-Timer. Overlord, Shield Hero, which we already agreed is near the bottom. Log Horizon. I mean, like if I could make some honorable mention shows that I would like to. I don't think they belong in the top 5, but shows like I really did enjoy Ultimate Game. On the other hand, a dishonorable mention would be Kuma Bear.
I would like to honorable mention Inuyasha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like if we were including Inuyasha would be in the top 5, just because it's.
I don't know if it'd be in the top 5.
Really?
That's why I'm honorable mentioning it.
That's fair. That's
Interesting.
fair.
Okay.
If I thought it was in the top 5, I'd just argue it should be in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
just
fair.
scrolling through here, I don't see anything that we're particularly forgetting. Like there's Kenjin Omago, and we're starting to get to the bad stuff again. Isekai,
Yeah. All right.
Cheat Magician and Smartphone, and again a very mid show with
I mean,
Cautious Hero.
if we did think of something, do we really think it would be above Devil's a Part-Timer or Slime?
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
tough.
reason why these were the first shows to come to our mind when we thought of good shows.
All right. So let's order it. So we have Devil is a Part-Timer is number 5 at the moment.
We have Slime,
and then Slime. Personally, I would switch those, but I'm outvoted pretty solidly. And I like Slime. Slime is a pretty good show.
Right.
So I'm fine with that. So then we get into the top 3, which is where it gets a little bit more complicated. I think Log Horizon is solidly number 3.
Below Konosuba and ReZero, I would. Yeah,
you would put it above ReZero.
I think I would put it above ReZero. Yeah. I think ReZero, honestly, is. I was about to say tied with Slime, but it's a little better than Slime.
I just think the character writing in ReZero is pretty fantastic. Like,
it's pretty good.
I think
for one character.
Yeah. I mean, I think Emilia's character is really solid. I think have you caught up with the recent season?
I haven't. Not yet.
I think Emilia's development in the recent season has been really, really strong.
Okay.
That's like sold me on her character in a way that like the last few seasons haven't.
I think it has really good villains.
Yeah. It's again this season has proven like Betelgeuse again is a really, really solid character.
For other reasons.
Yeah, for other reasons.
Okay.
But like even from the way it was originally thought, the way he was posed as like a foil to Subaru is really strong.
That was one of the strongest parts of this first season.
Yeah,
I agree.
And of course, like Subaru is of course I think one of like the strongest written protagonists in anime. Like I think he's up there.
Amongst the isekais, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
and
I'm not going to make such a bold claim right now, but
I wouldn't put him like at the top, obviously.
Of
but
course,
I think he is very strongly written.
No, that's fair.
Or very well written, I guess. And as much as I really like Log Horizon, I think its pacing, the way it develops is really good, but I don't think it has anything that quite matches up to like the highs that ReZero has.
It's a really fun show, and there's like a lot of stuff that's like exciting about it, but I wouldn't say there's anything particularly special. Like there's not a lot of stuff in the show that makes you like go back to it as.
It's really just like you look at it and it's like that is really, really fun. I really like that.
I liked ReZero. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean not ReZero.
Yeah.
Log Horizon.
As like the whole hamburger thing is awesome. The way it actually plays on like the way MMOs work is cool. The
It's-
fact that people don't die when they're killed and it is fun.
But there still is a
Like with
punishment
yeah,
for
while
it,
still
yeah.
having consequences.
Well, it's right.
And of course the way that like this has been described a million times, but the way that Log Horizon develops from like individuals to a small like civilization to a larger civilization.
It's kind of like watching Dr. Stone, but it's an isekai.
Yeah.
With video game mechanics.
and better pacing.
And
Much.
just better overall. But
Yeah.
Hey man, you can't be talking about Dr. Stone like that.
Hey, no, you know I cried at one of the most recent Dr. Stone episodes. I can't really shit on a show that made me cry too much. But it's not my favorite still. But yeah, so okay, Log Horizon is number 3.
Yeah. And I think that leaves us with ReZero and Konosuba. And
Which
I'm actually gonna say Konosuba I think should be number 1.
I almost don't want to put it there, but I don't.
I
I
it's
can't
just
think of anything that beats it there.
on a good day, Konosuba is in my top 5 anime of all time.
On a good like episode what is it 10 of the anime where he gets like the succubus and stuff. There are some parts of that episode that had me on the floor. There's some of it that's a little much, not gonna
But
lie.
even like the parts of it that aren't like absurdly funny, you just like smile at it. Like you
Yeah.
just enjoy watching the characters on screen so much that like I don't know. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, so I think we've kind of gotten our rankings. I had another question I wanted to pose. Is Steins Gate an isekai?
No. That's a time travel show.
Yes, but every time he time travels, he's in another world.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
I just want something else at number 1. I don't want
Like yeah, it's weird to put Konosuba at number 1 because it's a comedy show that like doesn't have anything particularly deep to it, but like I just enjoy it
Yeah.
a lot. Like
it
a
is very
lot.
yeah. It's not a hot take to say
I would-
Konosuba is very good.
All right, so here we go. Would you
If-
put ReZero higher?
Yes, because I would put the first season of Konosuba higher than the first season of ReZero. But I am of the opinion that the second season of Konosuba is epically inferior to the first season, and
I don't
therefore
know
I think
about that.
the full package of ReZero
Okay.
is better.
You're half right. I think that the second season of Konosuba, and Alex, I think you agree with me in this, is overall weaker than the first season. However, comma, there it is, haha, name drop.
Haha, roll credits.
However, comma, the Axis cult arc is the funniest arc in all of Konosuba, by far.
Yeah, pretty solidly. But I would also go as far as to say that if it's worse than the first season, it's really not by much. Like the second season does one thing really well.
The
and it,
reason I say it is inferior is because what I wanted out of a second season of Konosuba was for these characters to, in some way, transmogrify into something that was not completely the same as the first season. And it was exactly the same as the first season.
I don't know what you're expecting.
Oh, no, man.
I wanted some form of development. I'm sorry, I know it's a comedy show, but that's what I wanted, and I was extremely disappointed.
I don't know, man.
Hey, you're outvoted. I'm sorry.
I think one thing that I really liked about the second season, though, is that
No, I
like
knew I was
while the
gonna
characters
outvote it.
themselves didn't change, the dynamics that the characters had did, and
Yes.
like they're in little subtle ways, but the ways that they interact just kind of changes a little bit.
I mean, they just grow closer.
Yeah.
They spend more time together.
Yeah, it's just like, sure, it's like not like a crazy character change, but like I don't know.
And I didn't want this to be like a deep character introspective. I just wanted some facet of their characters to change, and it really never did.
I mean, yeah, because they're all assholes.
And that's not what I wanted to change. But I wanted to know. I wanted some like kind of reason to why they were being assholes. I think Kazuma is one of the best protagonists I've ever seen. But
Well, he
I
does
don't wanna-
believe in gender equality.
he is a true proponent of gender
By the
equality.
way, I'm just going to go on record for this one. There are a lot of people out there who like really like Kazuma because he's
Oh,
an
yes.
advocate of gender equality.
Yeah.
That's not why we like Kazuma.
No, oh, well, okay.
Kazuma, we like Kazuma because he's like a fucking dick that's just fun to watch on screen.
If you fail to see the irony in the "I am a proponent of gender equality" line, you're missing.
You're missing
the point. You're failing to see the irony.
It's
if
the,
you
like-
unironically quote it, like
It's the Rick thing from Rick and Morty. There's a lot of
Right.
people who idolize Rick from Rick and Morty, even though he's just supposed to be like a dick, like
right.
who's just like, you know,
Kazuma
he's not a
saying-
good person.
Cosmo's
He's not
saying,
someone.
I believe in gender equality. I can drop kick a woman or whatever the line was. He's being an asshole. He's like, he's just justifying himself being an asshole.
And that doesn't make the show any worse. It makes the show really fun to watch.
Yeah, but there's people out there.
But there's a lot of people out there who idolize Kazuma for that, and I hate to say it, you're just missing the point.
I actually just think they're incels.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't be surprised
I
if
would.
some of them were though.
I mean, like,
I'm not gonna say all of them are.
I'm not gonna say like they're incels. Like,
I think they're
sometimes
kids.
they're just teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kids.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, that's my Kazuma rant.
yeah. So
It probably won't be the last time I have the Kazuma rant. But that's the Kazuma rant.
I love him to death, but I don't love him because of his qualities. I love him in spite of his qualities. Like some people really do like him because of his qualities,
Yeah.
and that's that's you're missing the point, man.
So yeah, I think
No, I think we got it.
I think we kind of have it. I know there's a little bit of disagreement on it.
No, I knew I was going to be outvoted on this
Yeah.
topic.
And
but-
now we don't even
But
have
like-
to worry
but
about
like-
writing it down because we got a recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say why I thought ReZero is better.
No, I mean, like, it's close. ReZero is a really good show that I would solidly put at number 2. And again, I know you're...
I put it at like number 3.
Yeah. But, like, it's definitely close. I have them both as 9s.
Yeah.
But, like, I just enjoy Konosuba more. I've rewatched it, like, 5 times. Like, I just enjoy it a lot.
I think what I've kind of learned through this discussion is how much I actually don't really like isekais. Despite the fact that I've maybe seen the most out of all of us, it's close.
Yeah.
Because I've
I think
watched,
you've definitely seen a good bit more than I have.
I just they're not good.
It's like, I was expecting there to be, like, a good solid 10 that we'd have to sort through.
Yeah.
We got, like, maybe
We got
7.
6.
Yeah.
No, right? No, well, yeah, I guess we had like 7 with Tanya the Evil, but I honestly consider
And
that
then, like,
shit
8
pretty
with,
mid,
like, Inuyasha. Maybe 9 with, like, Zero no Tsukaima. Like, but those are
Yeah,
reaching.
Yeah.
But those are
10
reaching.
10 with Digimon.
Sure.
I mean, and then,
Um,
like I said, there was an honorable like I really did like Ultimate Game, but ultimately it was just an above average show.
Yeah. And again, only time will tell to see if how Mushoku Tensei fits in with all that. Like,
Well, yeah.
there are people that are praising it a lot right now. There are definitely things that the show doesn't do well. Like one of it has like really really strong aspects. At its highs, it's one of the best isekai out there. At its worst, the dude may or may not be grooming a child. It's kind of weird. Like there are moments in that series where you just have to be like, wait a minute, like, because the whole premise of Mushoku Tensei is that it's this like incel who's like been
Right.
born into another world and he wants to like change his life. But there are definitely still habits that he has that are like, you
Well-
stop for a second, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
that's
kinda
a
weird.
pretty big part of the show that he's still struggling with his
Yeah, but
former self.
some of it is played up for comedy in a way that it probably shouldn't be.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, some of the character writing in it, some of the plot writing, the pacing of it, and my god, the fucking like production values of it are fantastic. Like at its highs, that show is really good. And you know, like as it should be, it's considered the grandfather of isekai. Like,
Right.
It's called the Isekai of Isekai.
mhm. Like it is the thing where most stuff took their tropes. Like
It is a
going
show-
to be good. Like it is that way for a reason.
Most of these Isekai have a twist or a gimmick because they honestly just could not write a story as good
They have to
as
sell,
Mushoku
maybe,
Tensei,
yeah.
and they had to find a way to differentiate themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why Mushoku Tensei doesn't really have a hook or a
Well, because the
gimmick,
hook was-
because its hook was that it was an Isekai,
Right,
and
yeah.
it was kind of the revitalization of like the Isekai and light novels.
Yeah.
It was basically the Sword Art Online of light novels for Isekai, except it's actually good. But
Yeah. And again, gonna sound like a broken record. Like I've read a lot of this, like pretty far into where this thing's gonna go. Probably like season 3-ish, maybe season 4.
The first
It's
season-
only getting better. Like it is.
Right.
It is only going to get better.
Well, have you heard of how it is planning on being adapted from now?
I have not.
It is planning on being a long-running show.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well,
I was expecting
my
another
only-
what is-
Anime original thing.
Yeah,
or, like-
anime original. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. My thing with that, normally I'm like, oh, that's not a good idea. Like, and to be fair, it's probably not. But this studio was like,
It was
Mushoku
made.
Tensei is the only thing they've made.
It was
And
made.
from
to
what
make
I can
this show.
tell, it's the only thing they'll be making. Like,
right.
and so if you have a studio where the only thing you're doing is that, there's a chance you could keep up your production values like that. Like, if you're just banking on one thing as like this crazy passion project, there's a chance it could work out.
I mean, as long as they have the funding for it.
Yeah, as long as they have the funding for it. And again, I don't know if they're a new studio, if they're like a subsection of something else. But like,
yeah.
They were
From
funded,
what we've seen
they
so
were like,
far-
They were funded by Trigger to start up.
interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, how much money does Trigger have? They had to crowdsource some of their shows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe I'm just not.
But I mean,
sure.
like,
It's
assuming this
something.
show like
It's
turns
some
out
big
the way it
show.
will,
It's some big company that basically.
I'm sure Trigger has
Yeah.
money. They have some very, very
and it's
big
like
shows.
this show will likely make a lot of money,
Yeah.
regardless of like how it ends, whether people like it or not. It'll make a lot of money. Now, if it's enough money to keep up the production values that it has for a long term,
For a long, yeah.
that's yet to be seen. But for now, it's doing a pretty good job of it.
I have to give it a shot. You know, I'm kind of behind on this season a little bit still, which is insane because I'm caught up with like 8 shows in this season. This season is just
It's really stacked.
yeah.
I am currently watching 10 shows that now. I'm also watching Saint Seiya. I'm still watching Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Yashahime that have been airing already.
Yeah.
So that's, 14? And then I plan, when Cells at Work Season 2 ends, because it's only 8 episodes, to then watch Cells at Work Black. And probably about 3 shows from the season I'm going to watch next season, because I've looked at next season already, and it's not nearly anywhere even remotely as
Thank
packed
God.
as this one.
Yeah.
Um,
For people like us who are seasonal watchers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to end up watching 16 to 20 shows from this season.
I'm at a similar number. I think when I did my original estimate, I think I was at 16. And I think right now, let me just count off the top of my head. I'm looking at my mouse, not off the top of my head, but
We're watching a part of Ranman as a group.
I'm currently watching 8 shows that are airing right now. That makes me pretty behind my original plan. I still want to go back because there's still shows like I haven't started Yuru Camp. I haven't started Not on the Ori. Is it Repeat? I think
Nonstop.
Nonstop. Yeah. I haven't started either Cells at Work that I'd like to. I want to watch Uma Musume season 2, and I also want to watch like the 2 shows that people are talking about, being the isekai that we have been talking about. I already forgot the name of, and what is the manga, the real popular manga that got the adaptation?
Horimiya.
Horimiya. Yeah, and I've been wanting to watch that as well.
That's a
it's
really,
really
good
good.
show. That's
Yeah.
a really good show.
So I'm missing out on a lot,
I'm 2 episodes
probably
behind
missing
Tomazaki.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's the gamer one, right?
that's
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
gamer.
That's
That
the
is the
Smash
epic
show.
gamer moment.
That is We Use Gamer
Unironically.
unironically. It's actually just epic. for it.
hopefully that show turns out okay. That is one I was pretty excited for.
But it got the gloss up.
It got the gloss up from Studio Project 9, and I am not happy about it.
How fun.
It's really not.
All right.
Well, on that note,
Is that it?
I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think that takes care of all of our topics.
Wow. We're done.
Well, I think that takes care of our first episode.
All right, host. No, you weren't the host, Alex.
No, I'm not.
Host, lead us out.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Ryan, and I had the boys with me today.
Boys.
The boys. Oh, man. This has been our first episode, our pilot episode of the However Comic Podcast.
I suppose that's what this is. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed, and if anyone actually is listening, please tell us how we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
and,
awesome.
And really, thanks for watching.
We're gonna probably be putting this up on YouTube, so thumbs up is a good job. Thumbs down is not a good job.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, what
Leave
you
a,
said.
leave a comment and subscribe.
Y'all have a good day.